Rolling.
Let's do this shit. Episode 4, recap. EastSiders. This is terrible to think about this show with spiders. No, it's just like us as spiders.
They have gay spiders.
They do now. Representation's important. So we open this episode on Tom trying to get frisky with Cal, but as we established in episode 2, Cal's kind of frigid. He's also got to go to work because he's got to make a living. This actually got turned into a GIF on Tumblr, I want to say, that went kind of viral. It's a little mortified because it kind of looks like he's fucking me in the ass, but he's not. The phone dance continues. Yet another continuity error. Now, Tom has Cal's phone. Down is up is down, left is right is wrong, east is west, EastSiders is EastSiders. Anyway, the continuity errors continue. You can spot a lot more. These are just the ones that I'm choosing to point out to you. We then cut to Kathy and Ian in bed together, and spoiler alert, she's got a twin bed because she's a child. This is actually one of my producers' twin beds. This is the only like set that we built. We couldn't really find an appropriate bedroom for Kathy. We had a friend who had a basement with yellow painted walls and carpet. We're like, this is perfect. All that's down here is your fucking homebrew stuff because we live in Silver Lake. So we just moved that out and moved in our producer's IKEA twin bed. Built that, put up a bunch of stuff in the background, called it a bedroom, ladies and gentlemen. So Kathy is a child, she has a twin bed, somehow she and Ian both fit in it. We find out that Ian is Silver Lake hipster trash. This is the only time in the entire show when he calls her Kitty. If you don't know, a lot of people actually call me Kitty, sometimes John, but only derisively. Then we go to meet Cal's mom, Val. Cute, right? At a restaurant. Tracy Lord. Oh my god. I was such a fan before I got to work with her, and an even bigger fan after we shot this scene. Tracy got involved because Van had just shot a horror movie with her called Devil May Call. He was in the process of shooting that right before we went back into production on EastSiders. He said, you know, I could totally slip Tracy a script if you wanted to write something for her. So I hadn't originally planned on having that character be in the story at all, but I thought, well, here's an opportunity to write a scene for Tracy Lord and see if she likes it. So I wrote a scene and Van sent it to her and she signed on, and that was awesome. She was a big part of my childhood in movies like Cry Baby. I was super aware of her from a super early age, and I thought that she was just like the coolest, most stylish, most interesting actress out there. Getting to work with her was super fun. At first I felt like she was kind of testing us a little bit, like she was looking around like, who are these kids with no dressing room and no trailer. We had a different DP that day, Rob Edgecombe, who ended up shooting an episode in season 3, Priscilla, the episode with Willem and Steven in the desert. I remember at one point he was like adjusting a light and she just went higher. We were like, all right, we know how to light this scene, let's go. But she just was so on top of everything. She brought so many interesting layers to the character. One of my favorite parts of the scene was her ad-libs of Cynthia calling out the waitress's name.
Other darling?
Oh, I'm okay, thanks.
That's settled. Cynthia, 3 gin martinis. Extra dirty, extra gin.
I know.
Cynthia! Cynthia! I love gin. Cynthia!
That was not scripted. She just started like calling out for the waitress by first name, and I was like, that's brilliant. I love that. So we learned a lot of things about Val. We learned that she loves gin. She tweets. She doesn't know the definition of the word expose, or does she?
I read your little expose in France magazine.
And she calls the Paris Review France magazine, even though she probably knows what the Paris Review is, and she's just busting Tom's balls.
That sweater is a brave choice.
She is pretty mean to Tom in this scene, which is pretty funny. She tells him his cardigan is a brave choice, even though it's just a fucking gray cardigan. So Valerie is basically a psychic. She calls the entire plot of season 2 out. She assumes that they're opening up their relationship, and then she warns them against lying to one another because she cheated on his father, and it was the worst thing she ever did. A lot of unanswered questions about Val and Cal's dad. I wonder if we'll get some answers in season 4. People are always asking me what is and isn't autobiographical in the show. Val is nothing like my mom. My mom is the opposite of Val in so many ways, and it was fun for me to be able to write kind of this radically different version of a mother figure that is just like desperate to get in her son's business and talk about sex and get drunk and be rowdy. Because my mom is kind of more buttoned up and conservative. She's a lawyer, she's a partner at a law firm and a professional, and would never be caught acting out in public the way that Val consistently does. Although my mom can throw back a martini like nobody's business. Then everybody's got to get back to work. So Cal goes back to the gallery, which we shot in Echo Park at a space called I Am 8-Bit. It's actually a video game themed gallery next door to Mohawk Bend. Sean Marr is there playing Paul, incredibly handsome. You may remember him, oh my god, right? Dr. Simon Tam from Firefly. I actually met Sean Marr in the same acting class where I met Constance Wu and Bria Grant my first month in Los Angeles. And I remember being completely starstruck and blown away that he was in this acting class and that we were doing scenes together and stuff. And he's such a nice guy that we became friends, and then he agreed to do this part in the show, which, you know, people like Tracy and Sean and Van coming on board really helped the show get taken seriously in the beginning, and I'm forever grateful to them for that, because I didn't have any evidence whatsoever that I could put a show together. So it was a leap of faith on their part, trusting me, trusting that I wasn't gonna embarrass anybody, and also that it wasn't gonna be an awful experience. God, I've had so many bad experiences. I went to Virginia once to shoot a movie with somebody that didn't have any lights and didn't have a crew, and it was just one weirdo with a camera, and I was like, yeah, I should have asked some questions before I got on this fucking plane. We were staying in some condo with this woman who was a hoarder and had a room full of trash bags. I've been through it, okay? I'll put in my dues. So Paul is there. Tom tries to get sexy on the phone with Cal, talking about Paul.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. and you come straight home, you nasty piece of shit.
Cal tries to shut it down because he's frigid. That sets the tone for Tom low-key having a thing for Paul throughout the show. He mentions that several times. And Paul is incredibly handsome and also kind of creepy. He'll appear right behind you. He'll hit on you even though you're his assistant who's getting paid minimum wage. He'll try to get you drunk at work and take advantage of you. He'll call you kiddo.
Kiddo.
Which I guess that's hot. Jeremy shows up. Jezebel rides again. Who shows up at somebody's work to creep on them? It's a creepy thing to do, but I guess Tom's not answering his phone calls, so he has no other way to insert himself into this relationship. I got some sympathy for him because he doesn't have any closure. I mean, the guy just got unceremoniously cut out of this throuple, and he wants back in. Hashtag trouble. So they have a little bit of a lover's quarrel, and Cal basically makes it clear in no uncertain terms that Jeremy's fucking crazy for thinking that they could all be friends or a throuple or whatever it is he's handling for.
You're fucking crazy. Oh. Yeah, you're fucking crazy.
Paul comes onto the scene and flirts with Cal a little bit. Pretty clear that that's not unwelcome, but nothing that Cal's gonna act on at this moment. Paul puts his hand on Cal's neck in a very inappropriate moment. You may notice at the end of the episode when Cal comes home to Tom and they start making out, Cal puts Tom's hand on his neck in the same place. Directing! And then a very sexy song from the Lexingtons. The second song from the Lexingtons that we've had in the show so far plays I Wanna Be Your Man, and that takes us to credits as we tastefully fade to black. So that's it for today's episode. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comments below if you have any questions about Season 1, Episode 4 of EastSiders. And don't forget to check out our Kickstarter campaign, which is still live. We need your support, especially as the campaign hits into the middle. People stop paying attention, really dips, and we gotta work to get your attention. Please, let's keep this train moving. Put some coal in my tank. Come on! Check out EastSidersSeries.com to donate. And stay tuned for the next episode of the East Side Story. Call in the back.
So hard, even after the dark, I'll be all that I can.